The Knowing as Healing project is looking at what it means to know, but also what it means to not know. So we're working with people who've got irritable bowel syndrome. We're using narrative and storytelling, and we're looking at how we can come to know more when it is such a complex condition. We don't have all the answers. It affects people in different ways, and the treatment strategies are rarely effective for everybody.
Has anyone been told that what they've got is just IBS?
Just that, yeah. How many times I've said that?
It's not
It's not
serious. We can't cure it, so it's not that serious.
Yeah. How do people feel when they're told it's just IBS?
You
experience it.
I remember saying that to a gastroenterologist, and that kind of brings us back to that question, do you have to live it to learn it, really? So maybe we're the experts rather than the people who are badged as the experts. That's certainly what I'm quite interested in looking at.
Storytelling is a really good way for people to come to understand themselves. Evidence-based practice has been very much about treating people the same, but actually we're looking to treat people as individuals so that people can come to understand their own experiences, understand their own symptoms, understand their own triggers, and understand their own coping strategies.
This one's quite a difficult story. Somebody who talks about having a difficult childhood, but also talks about getting tonsillitis and having 3 years of antibiotics. So just when you think maybe it's the stress factor, something else is going on here.
One of the things that I've learned through the project is that the stories that people tell, the people that are living with irritable bowel syndrome, are actually often in quite stark contrast with what's presented through biomedical information.
Different doctors have got different attitudes towards IBS. I think some of them really do their best to be as helpful as they can within the limit of knowledge that they've got. I think they have been reasonably sympathetic most of the time, but I have perhaps been frustrated at times going back and doctors say, well, with nothing else.
IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome, is one of these, what's often called medically unexplained illnesses. It's a condition that doesn't have an obvious pathology. There's no structural change you can see. It doesn't have an obvious cause. It is rather difficult to diagnose.
I would imagine this is like a lot of people who suffer from IBS symptoms. I have been put into a situation where I thought that I'm going to be the person who can best sort out what I've got. Because I don't think the medical profession are able to. It's not their fault, but I just don't think they're able to help me. Thankfully, I am much improved now, and I'm back on a good road.
People often struggle with the diagnosis, and there is no distinct cure, although there are certain things that people can do that can make the condition better.
The low FODMAP diet is a diet that was developed in Australia and was brought over to the UK, and it's a diet that works for about 70% of people who have IBS, and it's about reducing the fermentable carbohydrate load that reaches the large bowel. And we do know for a lot of people food intolerances come alongside having IBS, and reducing those food intolerances helps to reduce symptoms, and reducing the types of foods such as certain fruits and vegetables, certain carbohydrates will actually help reduce the gas and bloating, and it's that causes pain in IBS. The diet itself isn't necessarily a diet for life either, so it's about sort of finding those foods that cause symptoms for you, because everybody's IBS symptoms are different.
IBS is quite a stigmatised condition. I felt very embarrassed to be a young woman living with a bowel condition. IBS can be seen as a joke. Actually, I think it is quite a serious condition. There is quite a lot of suicidal ideation amongst people living with irritable bowel syndrome. We shouldn't have to feel stigmatised. We're not chosen to live like this. When people say it's just IBS, I always say there's nothing just about IBS.
Over the years, I have dealt with what's happened to me as positively as I've been able to. But it's been a bit of a fight at times. It's challenged me. But in a way, by dealing with it, there comes a strength from knowing that you can get through it.